Falcons versus Bucks Thursday night football. In this video, I'm going to break down my favorite pick against the spread with plenty of analysis. And at the end, a Super Bowl and an AFC winning future showing plenty of value. We're having a really solid season so far. Let's keep it up on Thursday night football. Welcome to the channel. My name is Peter Apple, and my goal is to give you the best free picks with the best free analysis that I can muster. And all I ask for in return, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe, and let me know in the comments section below. What do you think about the picks? Are you tailing? Are you fading? Do you have other player props? And if you have a second, leave your own analysis. I'd love to have some conversations in that comment section like we do on every video. Before we get to the picks, a reminder that you can find all of my plays on BetMGM. Just remember to use code JustGridiron if you're new, because if your first pick loses, you get it all back in bonus bets up to $1,500. Don't just leave this free offer on the table. If you like my Super Bowl future or my pick for Thursday night football and you're new to BetMGM, just use code JustGridiron, because if it loses, you get whatever you wagered on it back in bonus bets up to $1,500. Interesting game to say the least. You got the Atlanta Falcons, who just lost to the Jets 2 weeks ago, and then got their doors blown off by the Seahawks just last week. And then on the other side, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just lost to the New Orleans Saints at home. And then the week prior, they beat the Arizona Cardinals by 3. The Bucs are now 7-6. The Falcons are 4-9. But are we sure these teams are that much different? But before we break into that, I think it's important to talk about Thursday night football, right? We talk about specific edges in this time slot specifically, right? Home teams generally get the edge on Thursdays. Home teams are 11-5 straight up on Thursdays, and it's due to a few factors beyond just the matchup that we have to look into. One, it's hard to come up for a game plan on Thursdays on a short turnaround, and more often than not, there is heavy travel associated with that. However, this is a divisional game, so both teams know each other well. And while the Bucs did get to stay at home, again, the Falcons just played the Saints in Atlanta. The flight from Atlanta to Tampa is less than an hour and a half. So outside of just being at home, the usual edges that come with these Thursday night games, I don't think apply here much. So let's look at what both of these teams have done this season. By weighted offensive DVOA, which means it's schedule adjusted, Atlanta ranks 18th, Bucs rank 22nd. By weighted defensive DVOA, the Bucs rank 16th, Falcons rank 18th. Success rate, which is basically an efficiency metric, tells us a similar story. In terms of offensive success rate, Falcons rank 13th, Bucs rank 28th. Yikes. On defense, Bucs rank 22nd, Falcons rank 24th. But Kirk Cousins is the quarterback of the Falcons, and he stinks. Correct. I agree. We all agree. Kirk Cousins is not very good. Since week 11, when he took over for Atlanta, he ranks 31st out of 35 qualified quarterbacks in EPA plus completion percentage over expectation. In that span, Baker Mayfield ranks 35th out of 35 qualified quarterbacks. And this is a theme. The Bucs just haven't looked good for a while now. Since week 6, they ranked 26 in EPA per play, 26 in success rate, 27th in EPA per dropback, and 29th in passing success rate. Their record masks how poorly they've really been on a per snap basis on offense. However, they just got Mike Evans back. Is that really that big of an upgrade? First week on a short week, off the IR from a collarbone injury? It helps. Does it tip the scales, though? I'm not so sure. But let's go back to Kirk Cousins, because yes, he does stink. But he has dominated Todd Bowles' defenses. He threw for 4 touchdowns in each of his last 2 games last year against Tampa Bay, coupled with another strong outing in 2023 when Bowles' defense allowed its 4th worst EPA per dropback performance of that season against Kirk Cousins. Why? He's still accurate against heavy pressure looks, which aligns perfectly with Bowles' blitz-heavy single-high tendencies. Now, the Bucs do have a really strong run defense, right? They rank 4th in rushing success rate against. But I still think Bijan is going to have success here because Atlanta runs the highest rate of outside zone runs in the league, and Tampa struggles against those types of runs. They rank 22nd in yards per allowed against outside zone. Now, the Falcons, they have edges on offense, a quarterback with a proven history against Todd Bowles, and a statistical profile far closer to Tampa's than this line reflects. Given Tampa's really decline in efficiency, poor matchup against the rushing style of Atlanta, I think this line should be under a field goal. It's when my model makes it about a Tampa Bay minus 2.7. But I think this line is inflated because Atlanta has the NFL's worst ATS record, 4-9 against the spread. The market has just given up on them, but I ain't. Give me the Falcons plus 4.5. So before we get to the Super Bowl and the AFC future, the best way to support this channel, again, just like the video, comment down below any of your thoughts, and press that big red subscribe button, especially if you like this pitch on the Atlanta Falcons. And also, of course, give me your thoughts on Thursday Night Football below. Time for the future, though. So about a month ago, I told you to take the Rams to win not only the NFC, but also to win the Super Bowl. I gave you plus 450 on the NFC, plus 900 on the Super Bowl. I think it's a good investment, at least for now, as they're the favorites to win it all at plus 375, and they are not heavy favorites, but decent favorites to win the NFC at plus 220. But now it's time to pick our AFC opponent, and you know I also sprinkled on an exact matchup. So when we look at the AFC, I think it's pretty wide open. I think all of us could agree on that, right? Chiefs and Ravens are duds. Josh Allen is awesome, but the defense isn't. The Broncos and Patriots, solid contenders, but I think they have a lot to prove. And another team that I think should be at least priced with those teams isn't. And I think they have a legitimate chance at winning out the rest of the regular season. The Houston Texans are number one in EPA per play on defense, best defense in the NFL, but more importantly, number one in EPA per dropback, means against the pass. The single most predictive signal of postseason success, I think, is an elite pass defense. Houston is the best unit in the league by the numbers. So whatever high-profile QB they face along the way, they got to go through the number one pass defense in the NFL. We saw what the Texans have done to AFC foes, and we just saw recently what they were able to do to Josh Allen. Now let's go deeper into that defense. It's a dominant playoff-ready pass rush with Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, and they don't have to blitz to bring pressure, which I love. They rank 5th in adjusted sack rate when not blitzing. They consistently create pressure with 4, the exact formula that wins in January. They also have Derek Stingley Jr., a true cornerback 1, true lockdown ability on the perimeter. Having a true lockdown corner plus a high-end pass rush, most reliable postseason combination in football when it comes to success in the playoffs. Now, the offense is the problem, right? It's not a great offense. But I do like how they're evolving throughout the season. CJ Stroud, I think, is just undervalued at this point. He still ranks 11th in EPA per play among all quarterbacks, and that's behind a shaky O-line and a bottom-tier run game for most of the season. But that run game is trending up. While throughout the season they have ranked 31st in rushing, they do rank 18th in EPA per play since week 10, right? They have a true number one wide receiver, Nico Collins, and again, that proving track record against AFC competition. They beat Buffalo. They beat Kansas City last week. They've beaten Jacksonville. And they lost to the Broncos in a game where Stroud got injured and Davis Mills had to fill in the rest. And again, they only lost by 3 points. At the very least, I think we're going to see substantial closing line value, or CLV as it's coined, going into the playoffs. They're 8-5. But their last 4 games of the season, they got the Cardinals and the Raiders at home. Then a game on the road against the Chargers, which is going to be a tough game, but that's certainly winnable. And then they end the season against the Phillip Rivers-led Colts. They already beat the Colts when they had Daniel Jones. I think there's a solid chance this team ends the year 12-5 as one of the top seeds in the AFC with the best defense, with the best pass defense, a good coach and an improving offense with a QB who's already had a taste of the playoffs. I think the Texans are mispriced right now. I took them to win the NFC at plus 630. I put a half unit on them to win the Super Bowl at 15-1, and a tinier sprinkle on an exact matchup between the Houston Texans and the LA Rams in the Super Bowl. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Falcons plus 4.5. All of the Super Bowl and AFC futures. And if you did, again, best way to support, like the video, comment down below, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss any of my other videos. Now, one thing we have to remember, because it is very important, it's not gambling advice.